Hello students, today I, Mrs. Priyanka Sharma, will teach you class 9th Geography chapter 3rd Drainage. In our previous lecture, you already have studied about drainage basin, drainage system in India. Drainage system in India is classified into two parts, that is Himalayan river system and Peninsular river system. In our previous lecture, you already have studied about Himalayan river system, the pattern formed by river system, and apart from this, the differentiation in Himalayan river system and the Peninsular river system. Here a picture which shows a journey of a river in which it forms different pattern and finally merging into a water body by forming a delta. It is a picture of gorge made by Indus River, a longer course covered by a river. Finally, we will move forward towards our next lecture, that is known as Peninsular River. As we know, peninsular rivers are classified into 6 parts. Most of these rivers are flowing towards eastward and merging into Bay of Bengal. Very few of them are flowing towards westward and merging in Arabian Sea. The main water divide in peninsular India is formed by the Western Ghat, which runs from north to south to the Western Ghat. Most of the major rivers of peninsula such as Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri flows eastward and drain into the Bay of Bengal. These rivers make deltas at their mouth. You can see in picture, these rivers make deltas at their mouth. There are numerous small streams flowing west of the Western Ghat. The Narmada and Tapi are the only long rivers which flow west and make estuaries at their mouth and finally merging into Arabian Sea. So let's discuss about the peninsular river of India with the Narmada river. As here in picture, it is shown that Narmada river rising from the Amarkantak hill in MP and it flows towards the westward in Rift Valley formed due to faulting. On its way, it forms many of the picturesque locations as it is shown in very next picture. The Marble Rock near Jabalpur, where the Narmada river flows through a deep gorge, and Dhuadhar Fall, where the river plunges over steep rocks, are some of the example of it. Narmada in Sanskrit meaning is the giver of pleasure. The Narmada, also called the Reva, is a river in central India and the 5th longest river in the Indian subcontinent and third longest river that flows entirely within the India after Godavari and Krishna. It also known as the lifeline of Madhya Pradesh for its huge contribution to the state of Madhya Pradesh in many ways. It forms the traditional boundary between North India and South India and flows towards westward overall length. So in this way we can see Narmada river, how it covers its course from its origin. Now we will discuss about next peninsular river of India, that is Tapi river. Tapi rises in the Satpura range in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. It also flows in a rift valley parallel to Narmada, but it is much shorter in length. As you can see, it flows to the parallel to the Narmada river. Its basin covers part of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. The coastal plain between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea are very narrow. The main west flowing rivers are Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpuzha and Periyar. So in this way we can say that how Tapi covers its course from its origin to the main source of water. Now we will discuss about the next peninsular river of India, that is known here Dakshin Ganga. It is called basically, it is another name of Godavari. You can see in this picture, Godavari is the longest peninsular river of India. It rises from slope of Western Ghat in Nasik district of Maharashtra. Its length is about 1,500 km. It drains into Bay of Bengal. The basin covers part of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by a number of tributaries such as Purna, Vardha, Pranhita, the Manjira, the Vainganga and the Penganga. So in such a way we can say how Godavari covers its course from top to bottom. Some of the facts are known here about Godavari river. These are: it is the biggest river in South India. It originates at Trambakeshwar in Nasik district of Maharashtra. Its total length about 1,465 km. It travels 694 km in Maharashtra state. It travels 767 km in Andhra Pradesh. In Telangana region, it travels 653 km. In Andhra region, it covers 114 km. Now, we will see about the next peninsular river of India, that is the Mahanadi Basin. The Mahanadi rises in the highland of Chhattisgarh, as it is shown in the picture. It flows through Odisha to reach the Bay of Bengal. The length of the river is about 860 km. Its drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Now we will see on to the next peninsular river of India, that is the Krishna Basin. It is rising from a spring near the Mahabaleshwar. The Krishna flows about 1,400 km and reaches the Bay of Bengal. The Tungabhadra, the Koyna, the Ghatprabha, the Musi and the Bhima are some of the tributaries of it. Now at last we will see the peninsular river of India, Kaveri Basin. The Kaveri rises in the Brahmagiri range of Western Ghat and reaches to Bay of Bengal. Total length of the river is about 760 km. Its main tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati and Kabini. Its basin drains part of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. You can see in picture what the course is covered by the Kaveri Basin river. A very biggest fall is made by this river of India? Now we will move on to our next topic, that is lakes. Lake is a considerable island body of water. It can be defined as a pool in large scale. You may be familiar with the Valley of Kashmir and the famous Dal Lake, the houseboats and shikaras, which attract thousands of tourists every year. Apart from for tourists, lakes are also useful to human beings in many ways. India has many lakes. These differ from each other in size and other characteristics. Most lakes are permanent. Some contains water only during the rainy season, like the lakes in the basins of island drainage of semi-arid region. There are some of the lakes which are the result of actions of glaciers and ice sheets, while the other have been formed by wind, river action and human activities. Most of the freshwater lakes are in Himalayan region. They are of glacier origin. In other words, they are formed when glacier dug out a basin which was later filled with snow melt. The Vular Lake in Jammu and Kashmir, in contrast, is the result of tectonic activities. It is the largest freshwater lake in India. The Dal Lake, Bhimtal, Nainital, Loktak, Barapani are some other important freshwater lakes. Apart from natural lakes, the damming of the river for the generation of hydropower has also led to the formation of lakes such as Guru Gobind Sagar, that is Bhakra Nagal project. So in this way, lakes are of great value of human being. A lake helps to regulate the flow of river water. During heavy rainfall, it prevents flooding. During the dry season, it helps to maintain an even flow of water. Lakes can also be used for developing hydropower. They moderate the climate of surroundings, maintain the aquatic ecosystem, enhances natural beauty, help develop tourism and provide recreation. In our next topic, we will discuss about role of rivers in the economy. Rivers have been of fundamental importance throughout the human history. Water from the river is a basic natural resource essential for various human activities. So, you can have a look over the river's role in economy. Water from the rivers is basic natural resource essential for various human activities. Riverbanks have attracted large population. Therefore, most of the people are living in developed cities using river for irrigation, navigation, power generation is of special importance, particularly to a country like India, where agriculture is most or major source of livelihood of majority of its population. At last, we will discuss about river pollution. As river pollution is a major concern which is increasing day by day in India. The growing domestic, municipal, industrial and agricultural demand for water from rivers naturally affect the quality of water. As a result, more and more water is being drained out of the river, reducing their volume. On the other hand, a heavy load of untreated sewage and industrial effluents are emptied into the rivers. This affects not only the quality of water but also the self-cleansing capacity of water. So, in this way, we can see the river pollution is a major concern In India, factory waste and sewage are contaminating the river water, and as a result, people in India face diseases like meningitis, diarrhea, cholera, and etc. Yamuna has turned into black color as polluted things have secreted their dirt and mixes with water. So we should prevent pollution as water is the source without which we cannot live.